tell us who Tracy is.
My name is Tracy Griffiths, and I live in Topanga Canyon, California. I've been in the healing arts since, oh man, 1988 is when I graduated from my first training in the healing arts as a massage therapist. And I haven't looked back. I've been always a student, just keep learning as much as I can about wellness and the body and healing and how to support other people on their quests for uh, being the best they can be. I've been a coach, a dream coach. I help people make their dreams come true. I now am the co-owner of the massage school that I attended back in 1988. It's called IPSB at Life Energy Institute in Culver City, California. And primarily my role there is teaching polarity therapy and cranial sacral therapy and aromatherapy. And about 12 years ago or so, I was asked to bring essential oils to a very large event that honored the women who survived the Katrina hurricane in New Orleans at the Superdome. It was this huge event that honored the Katrina warriors. These were women who went through the 2005 hurricane and lost everything. And I don't know about you or, you guys watching, but when that happened, it was like, how can I help people? That I felt so helpless, like, like watching all these people lose everything. Now that's, what's going on now is even more, well, no, we won't go there. So in that time, I was asked to bring Young Living essential oils to this event to help support this event that was put on by Donna Karen and the Urban Zen Integrative Therapy Collective, which wasn't quite formed yet. And we served over 6,000 women in 2 days.
Wow.
With oils and bodywork and yoga and healing and Reiki and nutrition. And the people that were teaching yoga, Rodney Yee and Colleen Sedman Yee, they realized like no one really wanted to do yoga. It was like no one wanted to do yoga. So Rodney said, hey, grab your oils, come into this yoga class with me and give everyone oils, like something you would do, Ozzy. So I said, great. So I put oils on people on their, on their scalp, and I would make a little scent tent, and I enhanced the space with that. And I had been playing with using essential oils in yoga classes right on New Year's Day of 2008. Like everything, there's this thing, like what you do on New Year's Day is like plants the seeds for your year.
Yes.
Yeah. So I went to this yoga class. This is I'm going to rewind a little bit. And my friend asked me to give everyone some frankincense during Shavasana on her special New Year's Day. Yeah, there it is.
This is the one I picked out today for this interview. So it's funny that you say that.
It's enough. It's like, you're so dialed in, Ozzy. So I gave everyone a drop of frankincense in Shavasana. I put a little bit on a tissue and I put it on their chest, and I had a drop on their palm and had them inhale and release and back into Shavasana. And when people came, back to the space, the teacher, my beloved teacher, I love her so much. She was like, what happened? Like we were both like, wow. And the people, when we came back to the circle, they were like, that was so like deep. That was the deepest experience in yoga that, really enhanced their Shavasana. So that planted the seed. Fast forward to the Katrina warriors, it was called the Super Love V-Day, and that event in New Orleans with Rodney and Colleen and Urban Zen. And that year was just a big year about Aroma Yoga. I branded Aroma Yoga, and my friend Dawn, you guys know, she said, you have to trademark it. So I trademarked Aroma Yoga, and Aroma Yoga is really why we're here today. I wanted to share with you about this journey of how you can be using essential oils, hi Naomi, in your yoga practice to enhance the depth of your breath, to help you come into focus and calm, and help you deepen not only your physical experience, also your mental and emotional, and I'll even say, more of a connection to your spiritual experience. So there's so many things I can share, Ozzy, to, I want to follow your lead. I'm so excited. I might just go blah, 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 blah. So I'll take a
but your blah, 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 blahs are always amazing. I was telling Angelica that, you were in Cyprus with us last year on the retreat, and then I was like, and Angela was in Cyprus, and she's like, you've got your necklace on, I love it. And Angela was like, no, Angelica was like, I was the only one not in Cyprus, that's not fair. And I was telling everyone how, you came out and you brought the essential oils and you just took the retreat next level. With your body work that you do and the cranial sacral and all the stuff that you bring in. You teach so many different things to do with healing. I told everyone, basically, I always talk about you, about all the different workshops you bring into the studio. So you're actually a big part of the Wellness of Oz.
I love it there. I love it there. I feel so like home when I come to your space. And the people that are attracted to your offerings are just really special and genuine and authentic. I'm going to probably cry. There's this authenticity and willingness to just peel those layers and be present with whatever's there. And that's like what your gift is, Ozzy. And so thanks for being my friend and going. I like going on this. I love going on this ride with you. It's really, really special.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I want to share something. So I'm going to make an offer here. So we're doing a fundraiser, right, for Wellness of Oz. This is a powerful moment in the world, and you've stepped up and said, "Hey, let's come together to keep this space pulsing
alive."
Right? That's right. And so we'll talk a little bit more. We'll talk a bit more about essential oils. In the sense of smell and how powerful it is. And we're using, hold up your frankincense. I have abundance here. I have abundance. And so, that's the king and this is the queen. Hi, Naomi. I don't know if you use any essential oils or what you're up to there. But do you want to say something?
Yeah, sorry. No, I don't. I kind of have them. I've got them sitting around, but I never really end up using them, to be honest.
So you need to learn how. So, and that's what I do. I teach people how to use them safely. And that was like why I created Aroma Yoga. I've been with Young Living Essential Oils for over 20 years.
So Naomi's in London, by the way. So
I heard your accent.
Yeah, she's in London. So I know there's big offices there as well that you can give her the info for later on. But yeah.
So Young Living's been around for 25, 30, 26 years, like maybe 27 now. And I had been using essential oils in my massage practice, and it's easy to get around essential oils, but I really didn't understand therapeutic value or how they worked on us, like on an emotional level or a physical level. I didn't really get it until I was experiencing Young Living through a technique, which I'm going to teach soon at the Wellness of Oz when we're back to normal, the Raindrop Technique, which is specific essential oils dropped along the spine that really enhance our immune system. Many benefits. And when I was the first time I got a raindrop session, I was like, whoa, now I get what essential oils are for. Now I understand it, because I really hadn't been around Young Living. And then I said, okay, I want to get my oils. And I was kind of bummed because I didn't know this, but Young Living's a network marketing company. And I was like, no, that really put me off. And then I realized, wait a minute, I can get these oils for less money, help other people get their oils, and have a little income. And it grew like that. And so I had to put down I had to actually embrace my decision to understand how this worked. And that's something else I teach. So if anyone here wants to get started with Young Living, there's this great cool starter kit. Ozzy's got one. It comes with the diffuser and 12 oils. And if anyone gets started with that starter kit, we're going to donate $50 back to the Wellness of Oz. So it's going to be a win-win. It's a win-win, and it's a great kit. It has all these essential oils that will support you with better rest, better digestion, better skin, calming of the mind, and everything that you use in Aroma Yoga classes. I'll teach a special, it's called the Aroma Yoga Chair Party. And so everyone will have their kit who wants to get started with you guys, with Wellness of Oz, with Young Living, and I'll take you through a free class, and I'll always be a resource for you. So I just sprung that on you. I know we didn't really talk at all before this interview, Ozzy, but I want you to know that this effort to keep the Wellness of Oz, on the map in Burbank, when you get started with Young Living, you're supporting that as well. So we'll give you guys the details of, how, what link to go to and get signed up. And I'll always be a resource for your team and how this unfolds, because that's what we're here to do, right? That your family, that's the mantra of you, Ozzy. We're family.
Thank you. Yeah, and the reason why we're fighting so hard is because so many, as you know, because you live in LA, Tracy, is that so many yoga spaces have closed down permanently. So many. And the thing that breaks my heart is that people need their practice more than ever now. And yes, we can do a lot online, but nothing beats that hands-on, the hands-on teacher, or just having that community, being face to face. Like just from your workshops that you bring into my studio, your touch, your energy, the energy in the room, the energy of each individual group that we bring in, whoever's meant to be there at that time, the energy of our retreat in Cyprus, like everyone was in the perfect place at the perfect time, right? And for that for that to disappear, that has been the part that's broken my heart. Like I'm seeing all this stuff go online, which is great because look, I'm in Cyprus, you're in Los Angeles, Naomi's in England, right? So that is what's amazing about online. But what makes me sad is that when the world comes back to normal, are we not going to have these spaces to be able to get together? Like, is everyone just going to go virtual and never like come together again? And that is what I feel. I'm like, we need that. That's very, very important to have that interaction, that energy, that just saddens me. So I gave up my home, I gave up my car, and I came here because I have no overhead, because my students were like begging me not to close the doors permanently. So I could have been depressed about getting into debt, but I thought, you know what? No, I'm a smart woman. I can sit here and I'm pretty creative and I'm around some amazingly talented people. And if I just sat there and instead of like thinking negatively, I'd think, you know what can we do to like an energy exchange? So we're giving something as we're receiving something, and then that space is there. And to me, it was just so worth it. And then Angelica helped me come up with this. Well, actually, it was her idea to do this energy exchange summit. And afterwards, we were like, wow, this could actually be an ongoing thing. Like in the future, we could do this and raise money for so many charities of, you know, whatever we want to raise money for. This could go on, because after I picked my initial teachers like you and Angela and Angelica and Nima, other teachers started approaching me saying, well, why didn't you ask me to be a part of this? And well, why didn't you ask me? And I was like, wow, so we could totally do this and offer amazing information and teachings and wisdom to people worldwide. And we could totally be helping people all over the world. So something that was just a little seed and something that we thought would help the studio, now we're thinking bigger. Now we're like, wow, we could help people all over the world with this. And so that excites me. That really excites me. And I've always looked up to you, Tracy, and I have so many questions I want to ask you, and you could be talking for hours because you teach a million things, but I'm going to go through that list.
Go for it.
So we cover all like the important stuff,
Okay.
and then you can carry on if you want to carry on. So you spoke a little bit about it. You created Aroma Yoga. So why did you create Aroma Yoga?
Couple of reasons. It was an organic process. You know, it started with that, you know, impromptu New Year's Day class where you use, you know, where you share frankincense with my students. Yes. And I had been using Young Living for like maybe 10 years already. And then there was this like wave. I would see yoga teachers using essential oils in their classes. And I don't want to diss that. I think that's a beautiful offering, but I noticed a lack of consideration around safety. I you know, teachers that I love, teachers that, you know, I'd go to their class, it wasn't personal, but I would see them using, there are a few essential oils that have contraindications for different conditions. And there was a few pregnant women in this one class. This is what started it. And the teacher was using clary sage. That is like number one, no, do not use clary sage unless it's time to deliver that baby. And the teacher didn't ask if anyone had any aversion to it. They didn't even know that there wasn't a contraindication. And she just gave everyone clary sage. And I was like, and I had been studying aromatherapy. I had been, you know, I have a clinical aromatherapy training, and, you know, I know these things, but many people don't. So that was one reason. There are other essential oils that you don't want to be using if someone has epilepsy or high blood pressure, or even if they say they have an aversion. You know, a lot of teachers would just use an oil. They didn't even ask if it was okay to their room. So that really didn't sit well with me. You know, being an educator of all these healing arts things, it's like, wait a minute, everyone in the room needs to have an awareness of like, what is this going to be? What's going to be sprung upon them? And our sense of smell is so powerful. So that was the main reason really was the safety thing. And my background being in polarity therapy, which is very, it's a synergistic healing art that has a connection to Ayurvedic. So the Ayurvedic principles of the elements through the chakras. And it has a connection to yoga and nutrition and consciousness. And there's a connection to astrology and a connection to Chinese medicine. So polarity therapy is like where I come from. And I started playing around with, okay, the sense of smell being so connected to our well-being emotionally. Your sense of smell is connected to all of your emotional memory. And being in the healing arts and helping people deal with trauma, what a great way to help people shift and weed and let go of the negative memories through our sense of smell. And I connected that with polarity exercises, which are really yoga, that connect to the elements. There's like all this weaving going on, and helping people release and let go and come into like a clean slate in their system through these polarity exercises with yoga. So Aroma Yoga is like a synergistic approach to balance. Why else did I create Aroma Yoga? Well, like I said, it was definitely like breadcrumbs. Like I would teach a class with, I would call them yoga and essential oil classes. And then it was like, oh, it's Aroma Yoga, hello. And I started teaching, and people would say, well, we need a book. Like, can you write a book? So I wrote the book, and I have my book here. This is the 4th edition of Aroma Yoga. And this is actually one of my yoga teachers, and she's the one that asked me to take the frankincense into the New Year's Day yoga class. So this has been translated now into Japanese, Hungarian, French, German, and Spanish. So we have Aroma Yoga teachers all over the world that I certify. I have an Aroma Yoga teacher training, and it's not like it's not difficult to use essential oils in your yoga practice. It's very simple, actually. It's learning how to weave that in so it really makes sense. Ha ha ha. So it makes sense for your sequence, and it follows through your thinking of what you want to have your students experience. So after I wrote the book, I started teaching these workshops, and then someone said, well, where's your video? I want to do this at home. I was like, okay, so I made a video, and then someone said, well, will you train me to be an Aroma Yoga teacher? I was like, okay, so now there's a training. So we've been having our Aroma Yoga teacher training. Now we're in our 6th year, and it's been an evolution. And the more I teach this and share this, what happens is this connection, this community bonding of people where there's this transformation and letting go, and people come into their childlike self again. And that's like right up your alley. You know, you get people to be their kid self all the time, Ozzy. So I create this space. We create this space. It's a co-creative space for people to be held, to be in a place where they can be themselves and let go. And you know, tears happen, laughter happens, and we go through this, we call it an evolution from earth to ether. We go through the chakras in our movements, in the oils, meditations, partner exercises. It's got a lot of branches to this tree. That's kind of a long answer.
No, it was a beautiful answer. Thank you. And just going back to that, yes, that is Aroma Yoga, but even in everyday life, so even if someone's not really a yoga person, what you said makes so much sense. A lot of people use essential oils wrong, and they could be using them in the right ways. So what you're teaching people also has great health benefits in personal life, whether you do yoga or not, right? Like I'll give you an example. Like fireworks. Yesterday is today November 5th, or was yesterday November 5th?
Well, here in the States, it's November 5th right now.
Okay, so Naomi, in England right now, it's Skyforks Day, right? So I'm sure there's like fireworks going off. I don't know if you know a little bit about that. So there's fireworks going off, and we have it July 4th in America, right?
It's crazy at the moment. It's really, I can hear it in the background. That's why I've got myself muted, because it's really loud. The fireworks are really loud.
Yeah, so what I was going to say was that in like when there's fireworks, even our animals, they freak out. So everyone's experienced that. So I use lavender on the paws of Munchie. You know Munchie, Tracy, you know Munchie, Naomi. So you can use certain oils on your pets even to calm them down. So oils are amazing in everyday life. And maybe you can talk a little bit about that, Tracy, too, because not everyone is going to be into just, sometimes when you use the word yoga, this is a yoga and wellness summit. And sometimes I added wellness because sometimes yoga scares people. But when you talk about wellness, they're like, yeah, I'm into wellness. I want to be healthy. And oils can be brought into your everyday life in every way, whether you're having a treat in a nice bath, or whether you're putting it on the paws of your little pet, or whether you're cooking with oils, which is something that you do, Tracy. I've been to one of your cooking classes with oils. So we can talk a little bit about that, because I think people will find that fascinating.
Yeah. So essential oils I'm watching how I deliver this, because I don't want to make any medical claims. I want to really promote wellness here. So essential oils have been used for thousands and thousands of years. It was the man's first medicine, I can say that. And so we turn, you know, men and women turn to plants for their, you know, healing. And as we look at history, you know, we refined the processing of using essential oils. And so basically, essential oils are the lifeblood of the plant. They're the concentrated liquid extracts, and it takes a lot of plant material to make just a little bit of oil, but that essential oil is super concentrated. So you don't need a lot. You know, for like your dog, lavender, very, very calming. I use lavender before I go to sleep so I stay in a deep place to sleep. I put it on the bottoms of my feet. Those are like my paws. That's very, the most absorbative part of your body is the bottoms of your feet. And so we don't need a lot. So essential oils have been used to help with so many different things. Better sleep, better digestion, better memory. Like when you're studying and you're diffusing, say, peppermint, and then you go to take a test and you diffuse peppermint, that same scent will increase the memory of what you studied. So like you could use them for your mental acuity, clarity, focus. You can use them to help you calm down. I was telling you before, this urban Zen integrative therapy, which is a combination of in-bed movement, body awareness meditation, breath awareness meditation, Young Living essential oils, and Reiki. And we take this little package, this integrative therapy, to the hospital patients, and we help them with better digestion, and when they're getting through, like after a surgery, to help them be more comfortable and rest so they can heal. We're not saying we're healing people, we're helping their body come to a place of homeostasis and like resource for your body to heal itself. And that's really what we're doing. So Natasha had a little question there about, you know, your immune system. So essential oils help the uptake of oxygen. When you inhale them, you get to have an increase of more oxygenation for your blood. They can help your body repair itself, like your skin can repair more quickly. But here's the thing, you know, I know I'm talking about these, you know, essential oils. A lot of people don't understand quality is everything. And this is like, I don't want to sound too serious, but I'm gonna. In at least the United States, there is no quality control. It could say 100% pure on that bottle of essential oil, whatever XYZ health food store you're in. Even Target and Walmart, they're starting to sell essential oils. They're probably not therapeutic. A lot of essential oil, you know, they're labeled 100% pure. 3% of it could be pure essential oil. The rest of it could be like an adulterated filler that stretches that 3% into the whole bottle. So we always want to be working with a reputable company that's producing essential oils, that has their own farms, that goes through all of the painstaking steps to create a real pure essential oil. And that takes money, that takes time, that takes science, that takes, you know, a lot of care. And so one of the things about Young Living is that they've got farms all over the world. They've got their own distillation plants right on the premises of the farm. They want you to come visit all of their farms. I've been, you know, fortunate to be able to go to their farms in Ecuador and France and Utah and Idaho. They've got a farm of sandalwood in Kona, Hawaii. They've got farms in Taiwan, Croatia, Jerusalem, like all over the world. And so it's all about integrity, and that's the safety part. So when I said, you know, essential oils can help your body heal more quickly, I'm not saying it heals you, it's helping your body heal more quickly. And you put some on your skin, and if it's like it's been adulterated, you know, some other brand, you could hurt yourself. So I would never put anything that I really know where it came from on my pet or on myself or on my students or clients. When we're using them topically, your skin is the most absorbative organ of your whole body. You don't really realize that yet. Whatever we put on our skin, we should be able to eat. And so what's so cool about, you know, Young Living is that they've created not only, you know, the best essential oils on the planet, it's like a lifestyle company. So they've got products that have been infused with essential oils that are clean, they're non-toxic, they you could eat their, you could eat probably anything that they put out, even if it's like, a household cleaner. Really, yeah, they have something derived from thieves. We can talk a little bit about thieves in a minute here, that are perfectly safe, for you to wash your floor with, an essential oil based, Young Living essential oil based product, and you walk around barefoot, you'll be fine. Not like using, XYZ bad toxic stuff. So, you said this thing, how you can use essential oils, not just in your yoga practice, but your everyday life. I mean, they're everywhere in my house, in my purse. When I feel like a little like tension around my head, or I'm feeling a little sleepy, I'll put a little peppermint behind my neck. This is the best place to put essential oils, by the way, for getting them into this part of your brain here. It's called the locus coeruleus. And that's where our fight, flight, or freeze part of our brain lives. And so we can really calm down the nervous system and really help bring ourselves into a more calm place by using them. And that's why, why do we practice yoga? Why do we practice pranayama? So we can come in and we can like come back into our midline and let our thoughts and our breath settle, so we can have a more equal way of dealing with all the craziness that's coming in, right? So that's why we use essential oils, for the same reason, to help us take it down a notch, if you will, so you can have more peace and calm. And we actually have a blend called Peace and Calming, and it's great for kids. I'm answering that question for, I think that's Joe. We've got this blend. It's in the starter kit, which I talked about. It's called Peace and Calming. And it's great to be used with kids in a diffuser on the bottoms of their feet. The name says it all. And I want to tell you a little bit about this particular blend, 2 kid stories. So I have a friend who, her daughter was having a night terror, which her daughter was awake, but like freaking out, screaming, like punching the air, and just like having like a fit. And the mom didn't know what to do. She thought, oh my gosh, do I have to take her to the hospital? Like, she didn't know what to do. It was like, 2 a.m, and her kid is like tripping out with panic and fear and, having a moment. So she remembered her Peace and Calming, and she took the Peace and Calming and put it on her finger, and then she swiped it under her daughter's nose. And the daughter went from like rage and craze to, Mommy, let's say some prayers for the dog. Let's pray for Dad. Okay, I'm good. And she went back to sleep. And she went, wow, like that really was like, that was first aid 911 right there. And I told that story in a class. And this mom, she heard that story. You pass down stories. That's how we learn. And she had her kids, this other mom, had her kids in her car, and there's like a 2.5-year-old like kicking the seat, in like the mom's seat, kicking the back of the seat, and then like the 5-year-olds were screaming at the 2-year-old, and they were like, having a moment. And the mom just got her kit, and she had her Peace and Calming in her purse, and she's like, okay, let's see if this stuff works. So she opens the Peace and Calming, and she just reached out like behind her in her car, and she just waved it around, and the kids were like, oh my God, that smells so good. And the little 2-year-old said, put it on my feet, Mom. Like the kid just like did it. And then the 5-year-old said, it smells like yoga and Christmas in here. Like, what? And they just started laughing, and they're giggling, and like the whole thing just went like the other way. She didn't want it to keep escalating. It just like, boom. So I use Peace and Calming for myself when I'm like, okay, I need to take it down a notch, for sleep, for just like this feeling of depth. And it smells like, it's like a deep, earthy floral scent. So it's very like, it's very calming. It's not like peppermint. It's like, see, ylang ylang, patchouli, orange. I don't know all the ingredients in front of me right now, but Peace and Calming is great for kids. Really good. And we've got so many of them. Yes, where should you put them when to help for sleep or anxiety? Bottoms of the feet. I even like my lavender, I put like right underneath my nose. I'll even put a couple drops on my pillow. Like last night I slept so great. I was like, oh, my lavender. I brought my lavender up to bed with me and I just like did it and I slept so great. So diffusing them's a great way. I don't know if you can see in the background here, I have a couple of diffusers. In the kit that I was talking to you about, 12 essential oils with the diffuser. It comes with your kit. And the kit is like $185. That includes tax and shipping. And you'll get peppermint, lemon, lavender, peace and calming, digize, which is great for digestion. You put it right on your belly if you're ever feeling like you've had weird food combining and you're just feeling like, ugh. That's compliant. Valor, frankincense, stress away, a couple other ones, but it's like the best kit to get started. And what I said before, if anyone wants to get started with, it's called the Premium Starter Kit, we're going to gift you Wellness of Oz a $50 thank you. And so we're raising money for Wellness of Oz, and it's just like built into the system. So we'll send everyone, we'll put it out like the link of how to get the oils. And so we'll help you with that. And you also get a resource like me and Ozzy and all the other people that are part of this as you learn more about essential oils. And if you do it like within the next day, I'll throw in my book, the Aroma Yoga book. I'll have that sent to you. So we just really want to make this easy and fun and relatable. And the more questions you have, the better. That means you're interested and you're curious. And just like yoga, you can never stop learning, right?
So someone had written boosting immunity with oils.
Mm-hmm.
You already answered where on your body would you put them,
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna go back to that one.
Okay.
Since this time in our lives of all this stuff going on, I've been sending people who tell me that they're not feeling well. I'm just going to keep it there. You can use your imagination. I've been putting together in a little roller ball. Remember I talked about the Raindrop Technique? That was how I got connected to Young Living. These are very potent oils. It's oregano, thyme, basil, wintergreen, cypress, peppermint, marjoram, and this blend called Valor, which is also in your starter kit. Valor is so good for courage, and we call it chiropractor in a bottle, great for physical alignment. Many stories about Valor. Anyway, I've been making these little roller ball, that blend of all those oils. When people tell me, you know, they think they got something, and I just send them that oil and I have them put it on their spine. I have like an amazing story, which I'll tell you in person sometime. I don't want it recorded and out there because it's not that compliant, but they pretty much saved my butt. When I was in a bad place, I was in the hospital with something that they were like, you might not make it. And I was so delirious with the thing I had. My sister came to the hospital with all of those raindrop oils and she put them on my spine and my feet. And I got out of the hospital in 12 hours. And they thought, you might not make it. So that's why I'm so passionate about this. I want to shout it from the rooftops that, you know, we're not destined to whatever the doctor says. We've got a way to be empowered with our health, with our ability to do a little research and get educated with, you know, man's first medicine. And I get to teach, you know, I feel so fortunate. I get to teach how to use essential oils in the hospital setting to doctors and nurses. And, you know, here's me, Tracy, you know, Topanga hippie kid. I'm not really a hippie, but, you know, I'm like more like granola. And I was teaching about the history of essential oils and how it really was like the beginnings of medicine and how it evolved through over time. And this nurse stood up and she was a powerful big woman and she was like, wait a minute, stop. And I was like, uh-oh, what did I say? Am I in trouble? And she said, you know, if you think about it, essential oils must have worked because we're still here. I was like, oh my God, I love you. You know, you think about that, right? Like, how did we survive without pharmaceuticals? We did. We used plants, we used herbs, we used essential oils, and that's what got us through a lot of things, kind of like what's going on right now in the world. I'll talk about Thieves. Thieves is also in your kit. Thieves is a blend of cinnamon, clove, eucalyptus, lemon, and rosemary. And these are essential oils that have very high antioxidant properties. I don't like, it's not a chemistry class, but antioxidants is what keep us from having a breakdown of the cells. You know, like if you slice an apple and you expose it out into the air, after a while it turns brown. That's oxidation. It's basically rust. And so this blend of these 5 oils, cinnamon, clove, eucalyptus, lemon, and rosemary, are a blend called Thieves. And you're like, why is it called Thieves? What is that about? Well, the story goes back in like the 1400s, there was something going around in Europe called the bubonic plague. And people were just dying, you know, it's like, there's a pandemic going on. And there was a group of men who were stealing from the dead and dying, but they weren't getting sick. And they got caught. They were like in front of the whatever judge or the king or whatever. And they said, okay, look, we'll give you leniency on your sentencing for stealing if you tell us your secret. And so what happened was they gave it up. Well, they learned from the spice traders that these 5 herbs, and I think they had peppermint in there too, would be like a protection from them getting sick. And they made a vinegar out of these herbs and they coated themselves with it before they went in to steal, and they didn't get it. And so we have a whole line of products based on Thieves and that blend. We've got like that household cleaner, toothpaste, mouthwash, a hand sanitizer. Oh my God, there's a spray bottle of the hand sanitizer. I think I gave you a little squirt before for your trip, right? Like I just use that after I get out of a store. It's in my car. I spritz my hands. I spritz my steering wheel. I know I'm staying healthy, you know? So how does it boost your immune system? Well, it gives you an edge, like to keep yourself at a higher vibration. If you want to go to the quantum, like physics aspect of this as well, essential oils are still alive. There's still a vibratory rate to them that's pretty high. And you're going to come up to meet that level. I know that might sound a little woo-woo. And I know when I use essential oils, I just feel better. I feel more engaged, alive, and more like I perk up and I lean in. Like that's what I do for my life when I use them. Blah, blah, blah. Keep going. Don't just sit back and
no, it's good. It's good. Blah blah blah. It's good. Blah blah blah. And I always love hearing, because I've heard that story before about how you got the name for how they got the name Thieves. But I'm curious. My little crazy child mind now is like, well, how did they know to use that combination?
Right. Well, they, you know, this was in the 1400s. By then, essential oils have been around for over 2,000 years. So same like
Chinese. The Egyptians didn't the Egyptians also use them?
It was kind of like this branching out, you know, this collective consciousness of who knows how they knew. But, you know, I bet you women had a lot to do with it. I'll start there. How did they know to use herbs? You know, how did they know to use plants for poultices? So it starts in like ancient Egypt. They found a scroll called the Eber's Papyrus. It's over 800 feet of like a medical text. And they cited the use of plants and herbs and essential oils for healing. And while that was going on, you know, after the Egyptian, they used them, they found, let me back up, when they discovered Tutankhamun's tomb, they found frankincense in alabaster jars that was intact, over 2,000 years old. So do they go rancid? No. you know, and so that was like, they were buried with their prized commodities, and essential oils were part of that. They used them for healing rituals and embalming and medicine. Like the medicine men, or the doctors, or the, you know, priestess who were in charge of health and wellness, were also the spiritual leaders, if you will, in many indigenous cultures. Like the shaman is the healer. So, and then while Egyptian medicine was going on, ancient Chinese medicine and Tibetan medicine and in East Indian medicine all were kind of like going on at the same time. And in Persia, there was a medical doctor. His name was Avicenna, and he was touted as like the father of aromatherapy in ancient times. And he created the first like modern distillation apparatus called the emblick, which was like a little pot that heat would go under, water and the plant material would be shoved in there with a little lid. And then there's gooseneck kind of tube that was like where the essential oil. So what happens is, essentially how they're created, plant material and hot water are, you know, what are releasing the essential oil from the plant. And as that evaporates like into steam, it condenses and then it goes into another chamber. The essential oil is separated from that water, and it sits on the top of that water, and that's what's collected for the essential oil. And they also use that water. It's called a hydrosol. They use that for other things. So Avicenna, he was like known for this apparatus. And then they used essential oils in ancient Greece. Who was the doctor? Who was the guy of Hippocrates? He was the father of medicine. He would tout to use essential oils and plants to protect yourself from plague. And he would have people like use aromatics to protect themselves. The ancient Chinese medicine and Tibetan medicine, they were the first real, like in history, that realized the skin was actually permeable. Like putting something on your skin could be like medicinal. We didn't have that in Western medicine for the longest time, but they got that. So they would use poultices, they'd use plants, they'd use ointments, they'd use infused ointment. You know, they'd take a plant and they'd put it in a fat, and then the essential oil would be released into that fat, and that would be put on the skin. Like there were so many ways they were using plant medicine. And so this is like a little history. In Western medicine, there was a woman named Marguerite Moret, and she was a nurse, and she brought essential oils into Western medicine through her scientific minded consciousness of bringing this into Western medicine. You got to come to a class. I'll go on and on and on and on. But essential oil basics is really fun to learn, you know, not only the history, but some of the constituents, the chemical constituents of essential oils are like combinations. And so when you study, say like the oil of oregano, really high in something called phenols, which is a very strong chemical component. It's the combination of these different constituents that create that scent that makes it its signature and what it does. So phenols do something, monoterpenes, sesquiterpenes. They, you know, you don't have to be a chemist to get all of this, but just know that when something has a higher amount of a certain constituent, it's going to have a certain kind of effect than something else. So there's calming things, there's carminative things that help you like release stuff out of your respiratory and help you get it up and out. There's things that help you digest food better. You know, there's so many ways of using essential oils.
Including cooking with them and making yummy foods.
Yes, let me share something with you. So in the kit, you get lemon, peppermint, lavender, a blend called digize, frankincense, and we've got a line of essential oils that have a white label. I think you can see that. This is lemon, and that's our vitality line. And so you can use lemon in your smoothies, in your guacamole, in your salsas, and your salad dressings. You can marinate things in them. The thing though, if you're going to be using essential oils in something that you eat, you don't need a lot. It's going to be like 2-3 drops. And you always, always, always want to use ceramic or glass, never plastic. It might be tempting to put a little lemon in your water, which is great to do, but always make sure it's not a plastic container, because it's going to eat away the plastic and then you're eating that. So not a good idea. But I love using black pepper, cardamom, cinnamon, clove. We've got dill, parsley, cilantro. You can get really, really creative with using them to cook with. I love making avocado pudding with cacao and avocado and some agave, and then I'll add peppermint, or my favorite's cardamom. I just love cardamom, or cinnamon. So good. So many things to do. So maybe we'll do a cooking class next, Ozzy.
Yes, definitely. I went to one of your cooking classes a couple of years back, and the food was absolutely delicious. I think we had like an appetizer and something with a main dish, and then we had dessert. So there's so much that we can talk about, things that you do with essential oils. Have you got like a cookbook out? Is that, or does that book have to come out now?
I know. I have a tiny little menu. I have a little one that I had support around with my friend. We called her the Kitchen Witch. And so I have some recipes. There's Young Living actually has some great cookbooks. There's a whole vitality line of oils. I think there's like 30 different essential oils that we could use for seasoning, like oregano and thyme and basil. I love that. It's like great for Italian cooking or Greek cooking. Rosemary, so much. So there's a bunch of cookbooks, and then it's fun to come up with your own stuff, and remember though, you don't need a lot. Like if you're gonna say cook with oregano, I would take a toothpick. I wouldn't drop the whole, even a whole drop of oregano is gonna like change your pasta sauce, whatever, your marinara. So I would take a toothpick and put it in, this is called the orifice reducer, this little plastic thing. And there's a little hole there. I would take the toothpick in and then stir that into the whatever you're making, rather than a whole drop. Basil's a different story, but oregano and thyme, super concentrated. Here's a thing for you. So 1 drop of peppermint is like the equivalent to 26 cups of peppermint tea.
Wow.
So yeah, you could put a drop of peppermint. People love putting peppermint in their coffee. Just 1 drop. It's so good. Especially with the holidays coming, it's like a candy cane. So we get really creative with that. But just know you don't need a lot. It's so concentrated. It takes 3,000 lemons, 3,000 kilos of lemons to make 1 kilo of lemon essential oil. And for all of the citrus oils, they use the rind. They use the rind to get, and it's a cold press. It's not the steam distillation. So the safety back, why did I create Aroma Yoga? And, why do I love teaching this is because I want people to be empowered. I want people to understand, yes, you've got something at your fingertips that can support your wellness. And there are some things to consider, say the citrus oil. So in your kit, there's something called Citrus Fresh. It's lemon, tangerine, orange, and spearmint. It's such a great essential oil to diffuse. It's great to put in, smoothie or in something that you're drinking. Yes, you can put it on your skin, but remember, when you're using citrus oils on your skin, we always want to realize that could be a photosensitive situation. What does that mean? Well, if you put it on your skin and go out into the sun and have that part of your skin exposed to the sun, you'll get a sunburn. It just creates this like perfect situation for there to be a reaction. That also goes for a tanning bed. Not that, I mean, I don't know who does that anymore, but so let's say you're using essential oils as a perfume, which you can do, but just, you're not going to go lay out under the sun. You're going to have a problem if you do that. So, you know, put it where the sun don't shine when you're using essential oils as a, you know, a cologne or a perfume. One thing that we do, I can't wait till this COVID thing's over, we come back into person. We have a class that Lisa Thompson and I do together, is how to create your own signature cologne with essential oils. And so we blend the oils, you know, we put them into groups like the florals, the wood scents, the like the mints and the citrus oils. And there's another one like the resins, the deeper ones like frankincense. And we combine the oils by, you know, there's a different methodology for everyone, but we create your own, you create your own personal like perfume or cologne. There's another class we do called Lucy Libido. This is a really great topic, how to use essential oils to support your hormones and help you get through, you know, the more birthdays you have, I've had quite a few, the more birthdays you have, the more support you need with your hormonal system. And essential oils can help balance your hormones, whether it's, you know, I don't want to go off the track too much and I want to stay compliant, but we've got a great blend called Progessence Plus. Oh my gosh. If it wasn't for Progessence Plus, I would be really sad and mad.
It's funny, Tracy, because I was actually going to bring that up right now. I was thinking of you yesterday when we had Jennifer Moore talking about all things women and women's health, and I thought about you, and I've noticed that like we have women here today, and I think that it's something that, like me personally, I'm at that age now where my hormones are all over the place. And I like to try natural alternatives. I don't want to try medication, like pharmaceuticals. So that was actually something I was going to bring up to you, because I feel that a lot of women are trying to find natural alternatives, and it's a big issue. And one of the things we were talking about yesterday as well is that in the Western world, we are embarrassed to talk about these issues. Right, so we find it embarrassing to talk about periods or menopause or personal issues, and it's just so amazing to me that like there are natural alternatives, and women really do need to come together and talk about this stuff and share, and it's normal, it's a natural part of life. And I, like I said, I personally would love natural alternatives, so if you could tell us about that. Sorry for cutting you off, but I'm so glad you brought that up, because it was going to be something I was going to ask you to bring up. That was going to be my question.
Awesome. Yes. So actually like cypress, clary sage, nutmeg, ylang ylang. I don't have it all in front of me. There are specific oils that help clary, I said clary sage, fennel, blue tansy. There are essential oils that help you with your menstruation. Like when you're getting through lots of cramps, there's a blend we have called Dragon Time. That's a great name. So if you're in that phase and you know your period is coming and you need support, Dragon Time is amazing. And you put it right on your lower belly and you smell it. Bottoms of the feet, diffusing, great to have. Now, when you're having more birthdays and you're thinking, oh God, hot flashes and mood swings and not be able to sleep, like that sucks. And I had like identical hormone stuff like in a cream, and it didn't work. And I was thinking, oh yeah, Progessence Plus. So Progessence Plus, it's a serum that Young Living creates. It's wild yam. There's a little peppermint in there, clary sage, probably ylang ylang. I don't have all the ingredients in front of me, but we have this class we teach called Lucy Libido. And it's a hilarious class to help women, just what you said, have fun talking about their sex life and hormones and change of life. And, you know, Lucy isn't a real person. She's like a collective of women who came together to teach this, to create this platform for education for women to just like learn how they can take care of themselves. So Progessence Plus is one of the best essential oils for women. You put it right here on the carotid artery. You put it on the inside of your wrists or on your forearm twice a day. What I've been doing, and one of my members taught me this, she puts Progessence Plus in her face cream. And I've been doing it, and I'm doing pretty good. I'm almost 56, so it's working. So I feel like it helps me be like in a better mood. I can handle what's coming at me a little easier. I sleep better, and sleep is so important. You know, we all need great sleep. So that's a great place to get started with, you know, along with your other oils to keep you happy. You know, happy hormones. Hello. Clary sage, like I said, you know, that's not what you're going to use during pregnancy. Progessence Plus has a little bit of clary sage in it. There's some great resources. We could do a whole class just on this, Ozzy. So if anyone here is interested, maybe we should schedule something soon and bring people together and have a class just on women's hormones and support. And I'd be happy to share that with you. I'll be more prepared, and we'll go through it. It's really fun. It's like you laugh your butt off, because what we talk about, you know, Lucy Libido has a blend for, you know, helping you get in the mood, helping your partner get in the mood. You know, if your partner is a man, she's got something called soldier serum to get him that attention. You know, it's hilarious how she languaged it. And it really like puts the ease in, oh yeah, I have a community. I can talk about, ask questions of what would help me feel better in my sexuality and my sensuality. So I love that we can come together and talk about that. Thanks, Ozzy, for bringing that up.
Yeah. So does anyone have, should we go on to, is there anything else you'd like to add, or should we go on to a couple of questions if anyone has questions?
I know we've been at it for an hour. I feel like this is a good place to ask questions, and hopefully you'll want more, and we can always come back together. So yeah, anyone want to ask a question, or you know, what did you learn today?
So maybe if anyone has a question, just unmute yourself and then remute yourself, because the way Zoom works, and then you can ask Tracy a question of your choice.
Or you could put it in the chat. Oh, there we go. Hey, Naomi.
Hi, Tracy. I have tried like oils before, but they don't seem to work for me. That's the problem that I've had. So like, I've just got I've got random oils, but I've tried lavender on my daughter, and it just doesn't seem, I don't know, it doesn't seem to work. But I don't know, like you say, whether it's the quality of the oils, because how do you know like what I'm trying to say is, what are you looking for in an ingredient to know that it's a genuine, like really going to work, basically? Because I've been at a hotel, and there might be like a lavender balm, and it really knocks us out. But then I'll buy something in a store and it doesn't have any impact. So right. The kids don't sleep, and they're quite hyperactive, and probably so am I. So we kind of all could do with chilling out a bit. And I had a diffuser before. I bought little tiny diffusers for both the kids' bedrooms. And those oils I can smell it, but they don't seem to have any impact at all on my kids.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, quality's everything. What you should look for is like the companies, do they have their own farms? What are their farming principles? It's all about the seed of that plant and the soil and the sun and how they harvest and how they distill it. Like there's so much goes into it. And so that reputation is really important. And you know, just trying something different, you know, maybe I can send you some samples and you can see how that works for you. So get my contact info and I can send you a little, you know, couple lavender samples and see how that works for you. Not a problem. And there's a Young Living office in Chiswick. Is that what it's called? Chiswick? Chiswick. Yeah. I don't know if they're letting people in because of COVID right now, but you've got a resource down the street. I've taught there before. My Aroma Yoga classes, and it's a really cool building, business park area. There's actually a little market called Aussie's on the way, which is so weird. But yeah, and not everything works for everyone. Like I know people who lavender's stimulating to them, but
Yeah, well, I think my kids have had the opposite effect.
So there's other things. There's peace and calming. There's stress away. There's vetiver, cedarwood. Like there's other things. It's like a one and done. Like everyone is so different. So if you're willing to experiment a little bit, you'll find your great combination. And I think our sense of smell and our the way we respond to things changes. Like sometimes there's some oils, like there's a blend called Joy, which is joy. And sometimes I smell it and I'm like, I don't like it. And I get a little, and I'm like, oh, I probably need that one. But I think my sense of smell and like what I like shifts. Different moods, different times of year, different chemical thing going on in my body.
And what about kind of like not anger or frustration? Because I'm quite highly strung, and then I can, because I'm creative, I can be really quite volatile.
There's a technique I take people through called the memory release technique and the aroma freedom technique. And we have a blend of oils. This is all in your starter kit. Stress away, lavender, and frankincense. And we blend those three together, and we take people through a process to help them weed out memories that seem to inhibit us from us reaching our goals or taking those next step towards our goals. And this is something that I teach we can do this online too, Ozzy. What we could do, if you're all listening, if you're all into this, I can send everybody a little baby bottle of all the oils that are in this process called the Aroma Freedom Technique. And we can go through this together to help you really it's hard because you don't have your oils in front of you. So you'll have little samples and I'll take you through a process to help you release what's not serving you and really understanding you. So we have so many things to do, Ozzy.
Yes, I want to add to that because I know Naomi very well. I've known Naomi for a long time, and I know her whole family. And Naomi, this is something that Tracy has taught at the studio many times. And you know me, I find it pretty hard to cry and release and show my real feelings. And after Mum died, Naomi knew my mom and my grandma. So after Mum died, Tracy came to the studio and did this memory release, and it really helped me release. So there's stored trauma, which yoga teaches you anyway. We store trauma in our bodies, right? And these exercises that Tracy teaches, like she's brought them to the studio and they're so effective. They're so amazing. And it's so simple to do. So us getting together to do this online may actually work before we can go back into the studio.
Oh yeah.
But it definitely will help you, and it definitely will help Fleur, Naomi. Fleur is Naomi's 11-year-old, and she's got some issues going on right now. She's throwing tantrums and driving Naomi nuts. And I think that it would really help, Nay.
She's just very intense about everything. So if something isn't right, she'll just go crazy. And I'd like to find a way. And then I start getting angry and stressed out and start shouting. I just like to find and I meditate like twice a day. I have been doing, I don't know if you know of her, Lacey, whatever, in LA, To Be Magnetic. I've been doing that course since March. It's like a theta unblocking. So I understand all of the like subconscious level of trauma, because that's what I've been working on myself since March sort of time. And I feel like that sounds really good. Can you do that over Zoom?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I can absolutely do that with you guys. I'm super dedicated to empowering you all, whoever wants it, to have a self-care discovery so you can get through and not have to take anything crazy, but use essential oils in this process. I'm creating a link right now for you, Ozzy, for people to get their Ozzy. done this before. I'm going to call it Aussie, just Aussie. Okay. And then I'm going to put this in the chat. And so if you guys want to get started with your Young Living, you'll go to this link. It's so amazing that I could do this right now. Super cool. Boom. Okay, so that's the link to go to. And that's going to take you to a page to get started with Young Living. You can get the premium starter kit, or you could get, it's called the basic starter kit, and it's just stress away with some other goodies. You get some good basic starter kit or the premium starter kit.
Sorry, is this available? So is this available for the UK?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so what happens is when you get started with Young Living, it's going to go underneath Aussie. Mm-hmm. So that's going to support Aussie's mission.
Yeah.
And you're on her team, and you get me and Aussie and all these other great people like Casey Lockwood and Tracy Giovanelli, who's a hypnotherapist who uses the oils with hypnotherapy. You get Lisa Thompson and Dawn. So we're all like this cool team, and we just support each other. So
these are all amazing women, Naomi, that I've known for years now, and a few of them were on the retreat teaching with me last year in Cyprus. All amazing teachers that teach all over the world, that can help you. And each one of the teachers doesn't just teach about essential oils. Each one has different skills, like a Reiki master teacher, or like Tracy is part owner in a massage school in Los Angeles and does a lot of body work and different types of healing, and Lisa's the same, and the other Tracy is the same. Like
we're really cool.
Yeah, so everything healing that you need, like they have to offer. Like it's such an amazing group of teachers, healers, light workers, that cover just about everything, right? Yeah, someone else just said that they went to your website here in the group.
Yeah, that's why I put, just don't go right to youngliving.com, because you'll get lost. And I mean, you definitely look around, and to get started though, definitely use Aussie's link, because that will support this mission for sure. What was I was going to see, I could do a screen share if you want to, and show you a little more deeply what that kit is. Would that be a good idea? What do you think? Or let's see if there's any other questions.
Anyone else have questions? Just unmute yourself and ask Tracy a question. Now's your chance, because you're here live.
Natasha, Francis, Joe, Carrie. I wish I was in the UK.
I am happy being exactly where I am. Mm-hmm. In a treehouse in Cyprus.
That's so cool. I'm in a treehouse in Topanga. And I'll give you guys my my email, and you can reach out to me. Tracy, what is my email? If you might have a question, you're just like, I don't want to say that in front of a lot of people. Just, you can email me. My website's down right now. It's only been down for a month. Hello. But my school website, you can see what we're up to. .net. lifeenergyinstitute.net. And yeah, I'm here. I love you, Aussie. I love everyone that you attract. There's like this cool vibe going. And if this was helpful for you, or what did you learn? Let's just close with that. Put it in the chat. What did you learn today? What was interesting? What caught your attention? What made you think, wow, I didn't know that. Put it in the chat so we know if it's easy, or unmute yourself. What did you learn, Naomi, since we got you?
I actually found it really interesting about the rainbow I don't know what you call it, the rainbow.
Raindrop.
Raindrop, sorry, the raindrop. Is it a method, or is that what it is?
It's a grouping of specific essential oils that are dropped along the spine. And then there's these really strange techniques that you do to help the oils drive them more deeply into the skin and into the bloodstream. And then hot, wet towels are put on the spine, and you just kind of marinate in them. And it's a powerful technique that just helps your body like kickstart and jumpstart, like get like detox. It's like a detox as well. And
we have a lot of this in the UK.
Yeah, the raindrop technique is so good. So that's how I got exposed to Young Living, and now I teach raindrop. Oh, there's a little visitor.
It's Fleur. It's Fleur. Do you want to say hi to
Hi, Fleur.
Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you. My name's Tracy.
Say hi, Fleur.
Hi.
She just made us dinner tonight.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Do you want to have some?
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I'm not muted.
That's all good. Cool. I think it's already working.
Yes, right. It's already working. She's all calm. Yes, Fleur does yoga with me, and that helps her. She does yoga, and she's pretty amazing, and she's calm during her yoga. But sometimes she drives her mum crazy, and her mum wants some natural alternatives to give her. Yes. Does anyone else have anything to add to that? It's funny, Tracy, because we were about to do the raindrop at the studio, and then it all closed, right?
I've been teaching it online, though. I have been. I've got everything online. So Ozzy, we'll get our heads together and we'll make a little list of different offerings, and maybe you all have a request of something you like. If we could do EO basics, we could do definitely like the Aroma Freedom technique. I can send you guys little samples of the oils that we use in the technique. And we could do trauma release exercise, TRE. We could do, so if that's something you want, we'll have to get your address, and so I can make the little samples for you and send them to you in enough time. So we'll schedule it. So just we make sure everyone's got everything they need. And if you want to get started with Young Living, it would be great. And we'll help you do that if that's something you'd like to check out. I think it's a great investment in yourself and in your family's health. The diffuser is great, even like to have right by your bed or in your kitchen, or, you know, I have diffusers like in every room. So can't go wrong. Can't get it wrong. I think it's just a great thing to have, especially now.
Yes, I love my kit. I love my diffuser. I love what comes with the kit. Yeah, it's amazing, everything that's provided in it. We have a message from, this is from Natasha left a message. Great reassuring talk. Thank you, Natasha. I don't know where you are or where you're signing in from, but thank you for joining us. Yes, and yes, Naomi, thank you. Yes. So you gave us your website. We should definitely schedule. I love TRE, so all of that raindrop, maybe we should definitely schedule it. And if any of you want Tracy to send you some of the oils, Joe said the diffuser sounds amazing. The diffuser is amazing. When the studio's open, I always have the oils in the diffuser going, and when people walk into the studio, people never want to leave the studio. The studio energy is beautiful anyway, but the smell, I mean, the smell just makes it all cozy and homey, and you just don't want to leave. And then I'll have it in my bedroom as well, and sometimes in my living room. So the diffuser is amazing. Joe, what oils do you have in the studio? Oh, what else do I have in a studio? Well, if I want people to just, if I need to wake up because I'm tired and I've taught 5 million classes, I normally use peppermint. to wake me up, or some lemon. Sometimes I use lemon, right? Citrusy. If I want people to be calm, I will use lavender most of the time. Most of the time I use lavender. Sometimes I love frankincense. It's one of my favorites. I use frankincense more for meditation and more calming sort of practices. That's my personal choice as a yoga teacher in the studio, and also for my own personal practice. Sometimes I have that monkey mind, it's just going crazy, so frankincense really just calms me down and helps me with my meditation. Yes, who is this? Many thanks, a really interesting.
Thank you, Naomi.
Yeah, might try diffuser, would be helpful with sleep. Thank you. This is Francis. Yes. Excellent. So let us know, write to me or Tracy. You have both of our emails. My email, if you don't have it, is aussieasishealer@gmail.com. You have Tracy's. Just reach out. aussieashealer@gmail.com. And the studio website is thewellnessofoz.com. But I use social media more. So if you want to know more about these workshops, or if you would love to be a part of the workshops, and if you'd love for Tracy to tell you a little bit more about the oils or send you the samples so we can do these workshops, please reach out to me or Tracy and we will get that stuff going, right? Yeah.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. Give your dad a big hug. Tell him I said hi. And
I hear him wandering around downstairs. He's most probably like, what's going on? I recognize that voice. He came back today. I was on the land. For those that don't know, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm on the island of Cyprus. We have this land with my dream is to build a healing center, so amazing teachers like Tracy can come and bring their students, and light seekers and light workers can come out here and just heal on this beautiful land. We're on the peninsula. We have 3 directions, Mediterranean sea views, acres and acres, just beautiful. So that's where I am right now, but the studio is in LA. That's where I normally live. But yeah, I'll say hi to my dad. I'll give him a big kiss. I was on my own and then he arrived today, so I'll say hi to him afterwards.
Great.
But yes, thank you so much, Tracy. This has been a blessing, an honor to have you here. I always love everything you teach, and we could really go on and on and on because you teach so many wonderful things, and you really help a lot of people worldwide. And I want to thank you from my heart for that. You've had a huge impact on my life. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Be safe, stay healthy. To be continued.